We're gonna have to watch Superman though. I heard it was good. Is it solid? Yeah. Okay, I'm in for it.
My boy said Lex Luthor. He's like, Mo, he's that new bad guy. He said he's cutthroat. Cause like, cause Orlando was like, Mo, he was like as bad as King Joffrey. And then
Oh,
King
okay.
King Joffrey was a bad motherfucker.
Yeah. No, you have to
Evil.
when your entire career is now over because everyone hates your character so much. You did a really good job.
Homelander.
Yep. Yeah, but people could see that dude in other stuff and be like, eh. I think you see the kid that played Joffrey in anything in a Hallmark commercial, like that card sucks.
I'm serious. Like all the characters from the boys now. Whenever I see them in other roles, I just think of their character in the
Yeah,
boys.
yeah, that's true.
Because
That's
the
true.
boys is that good. It's really that good. It touches on many themes and it's very satirical. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah. But same thing. We're talking about that with Invincible too.
yeah.
I think entertainment wise, Invincible is better than The Boys.
You know what?
what
It depends on what you're looking for.
What are you looking for?
I don't know. It depends on the mood. Like
Okay.
because like if you're waking up, you might want to see Invincible because like Invincible does has some gems,
Yeah.
but the action on that shit is
No,
fucking
it's good.
amazing.
It's really good. I like it's way different than we were growing up watching Street Sharks and Silverhawks and stuff. Like the intros looked awesome and then the cartoon was trash.
See, I liked Exo Squad.
Exo Squad with the X with the suits.
Yeah,
Yep.
because yeah,
The little
that
had the holes.
yeah, the
Yep.
Marsalis and I forgot their names, but Phaeton. You know what I'm saying? Names on the
Did you have Dino Riders?
no, I never
You
heard of
had
that.
Dino Riders? I
Dino.
saw an ad from like an old Sears Christmas catalog. They put a picture of it on a Facebook post. I was like, oh my god, I had one of those. I didn't know that was called
Nah, never heard of those.
Centurions.
I know of those, but I never messed with
They're
those.
redoing the mask, car that turns or the
Yeah, yeah,
motorcycle
Mask
turns into a helicopter. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
M.A.S.K.
They're
I
redoing all
remember
those
that.
toys and stuff too.
I remember that.
That was a good one. I like that one. Yeah. That's about as interesting shit I can think about to talk about.
Actually, okay, so what do you think about the growth of not the growth, but the outlook of combat sports so far? Like, how's it
Man,
looking?
I think it's more important now to be famous before you even start fighting than anything. You know, I think having some type of internet presence is really important. If you talk about combat sports as a whole, you have to include boxing. So the people that are making the money, drawing the eyes, are 6, 7 boxers, and then social media people, you know, influencers. So I think that over time is going to bleed into MMA as well because you've got guys that are young MMA guys starting out doing jiu-jitsu, wrestling, Muay Thai. They go through, they turn 18, they already have a social media following, so they're like a kids combat sports influencer from the jump. And that's you know as well as I do, a promotion would rather have to spend less money promoting you to still get the same value out of it.
I agree, but at the same time, man, what? Hold on, why isn't it mute no more? They changed the mute thing on the iPhone or something.
I just do the thing. I just do not disturb.
How I do that?
Go yeah, pull down and then where you could focus or at work or sleep or whatever. Let me see. I can't see where
Is
that.
it airplane mode?
Do not disturb.
All right, cool.
I
All right,
taught you something. I've never taught you anything about technology.
all right. I see it. I see that.
You're
Damn,
helping me with the Fire Stick
damn.
stuff, and I'm like you're telling me how to do AI, and now I had to teach you how to use your iPhone. It's come full circle.
Yeah,
The student has become the master.
I'm horrible with phones at times. I know how to use things on the phones, but when it comes to the
The
settings
phone.
and the function, I'm still gotta learn.
So this whole week, something you've been doing on your phone is you've been messing with the AI stuff, and you have me now convinced that the future of coaching, making a coach's job more efficient, making things better for the fighter, is like incorporating AI into like a training regimen into a programming.
Yeah, I use AI more for scouting,
Right.
and technical breakdowns,
Hmm.
and even I'll run the video through AI to see if I missed anything, and I'll write a prompt and I'll say, "Hey, look at this video from the eyes of a um boxing judge and a world class boxing coach, and tell me anytime you see um the fighter getting hit clean because his left hand's not as high." And they'll search. You can do all sorts of prompts. It can search documents. You can ask about you can ask about anything.
That's. Do you think though that at the end of the day, is I guess a coach's job is just like figuring out stats, figuring out numbers, kind of like Moneyball kind of idea with it, like learning about the percentages, the probabilities. This guy's going to do this 60% of the time. That doesn't work. He goes this way. That doesn't work. He goes this way. After that, everything else after that, we don't know, but it's such lower percentage chance of it happening that we don't really pay attention to it. So basically, AI is doing that for the coach as like an unbiased, like just an extra ear. You can look at it, no, oh, this is exactly what I would do. Okay, cool. This kind of confirms for me.
Yeah, but at the same time, I really don't try to get confirmation. I just ask to clarify my ideas
Yeah,
because, like, for the most part, like, I don't the stats thing makes sense, but every fight's a different fight.
right,
So if people were to listen to AI and become so predictable, then the most unpredictable motherfucker that comes through is gonna look amazing.
right.
So you have to have your own spin on things at times.
And it's funny though how that really does mirror though the way that people fight anyway, because you have people that fight like orthodox, you have orthodox and southpaw. Okay, so there's your stance stuff taken out of it, and then if they're heavy with wrestling, they're gonna have usually have their power out in front. They're gonna be heavy lead foot. If they're go out and train Muay Thai, they're usually standing straight up. They're doing a lot of kicks as jabs. All these different styles add up, and then you have somebody that is just spazzy and awkward, and that's essentially what you're talking about with AI anyway. So like basically we're just mirroring the same stuff. Is that is
Yeah,
that even a spam call too?
yeah.
To change your like
But
Yahoo?
I thought that it
I
said
thought
you
I
had to
did
stutter.
too.
I'm telling you, know what? Airplane mode. There we go.
But that to me is kind of like trying to cheat the system without really needing to do it. Because it's confirming what you already know. Hey, people are going to do this against this, but then if you have somebody that is a Yair Rodriguez, it's hard to plan for that.
Well, I wouldn't. I I really wouldn't use AI like I would use it to scout, looking at certain things from my point of view. If I'm trying to find something as a weakness for my athlete that I'm coaching,
Yeah,
as far as um, I'd use it for technical stuff, meaning like if we're doing stance and motion, are you leaning too far forward? How's your spine aligned? Because you might tell somebody they're hunched over and leaning too far forward, and they'll just tell you no.
yeah.
But
No,
then,
I am.
yeah,
Yeah, no.
I'm not
Yep,
doing it.
yep.
I'm my stance is all right. My stance is good. And then you get the video, you run it through AI, and AI kind of confirms what your
Yeah,
suspicions.
his head's over his feet this many
Mhm.
times around whatever.
Stuff like that. Movements, um, the shadow boxing, where's the hand placement? Because you can there's a prompt where if I were to turn my AI on and I'd be like, "Hey, what are we doing?" It'd be like, "Hey, looks like you guys are on the podcast."
Okay, so
And
it's
yeah, it would
yeah,
just talk with us and it'd be the third person in the conversation.
interesting.
And the thing is, I kind of program my my chat GPT to kind of think like me in a sense,
Okay.
but at the same time, I have so many prompts in it to have it look from the eyes of a certain point of view that I make sure it's beyond me.
I got you. So you've got a lot more different lenses to look through instead of just this is what Mo thinks.
Yep.
And what would somebody with this background think? That makes sense. What you said something about it that you're using AI for assisting and showing people, hey, you're not really listening to what I'm saying. What what is it about if it's I don't know if it's pro athletes, if it's fighters, if it's just a competitive mentality. Well, about sometimes you go to coaches to get coached, to improve your skills, to have someone outside of you giving you like input on, hey, this needs to be corrected because you're exposed in these ways. And then guys just not listening to it. Like what do you think is I've never seen a champion in anything that wasn't at least coachable.
Hmm.
And why? Because there's so many guys. You and I both know there's so many guys in the sport that a coach will tell them all day, "Hey, you keep dropping your hands. You keep dropping your hands. Hey, you got to
Yeah.
fix your stance. You've got to do this. You got to beat the outside
But
foot."
there are some champions. Every champion's flawed. It
Right.
just depends on the time when that flaw gets exposed, right? So there are many champions that have been out there with many open holes.
Oh, for sure.
And then like Chuck Liddell, when he fought Rashad, he
Right.
dropped his hand, but he probably had the habit of doing that. I've been dropped quite a few times to stop with bad habits, my
Right.
hands being dropped.
But that's the thing is like, but was someone telling you to correct those things?
Yeah.
And then,
What the
but it's just like, do you
what
think it's like I've done that so much the wrong way that now that's kind of part of the style?
well nah, well, with me it was a little different because I couldn't bend my elbows.
It's
See,
eventually,
like
yeah.
so I can't that's as far as I can bend them.
Right.
So like when I keep my hands up, it like jam back and it hurt.
Yep.
And I couldn't snap my punches. So
So you just had to throw like
yeah,
sling,
I had to
like arm
sling
punches.
sling through my hips or just pull somebody into something like Yuri and he ran into me.
Hmm.
So stuff like that.
But now you're on the coaching side of it. So what do you see that's the difference in those people that are coachable and people that are more resistant to coaching?
Well, at some point, everybody's coachable. Even if not,
Like just to at least like a fundamental level, and then
well, I mean, even if that they're gonna be listening to something. If you say, "Hey, breathe,"
right,
they're gonna
right.
breathe. Water, all right, breathe. They're gonna listen to you.
Right.
Now, they might not listen to all your advice. They might listen to a few things, but
That's up to
some
them.
people just, all a coach can do is give you their point of view on things from what they've experienced in the fight game or in life.
Yeah.
So, you know, some experience more than others. So they might have a different perspective on things.
Do you think that's the difference in coaches nowadays? Because we see this we see this trend of you've got guys that have competed at a really high level, carry on into coaching, like a lot of the staff at ATT, a lot of these other gyms, and then guys that have never really competed at a high level, but they're just going in as coaches because there's so much data for MMA now. There's so much information. You can train at a higher level now, just baseline in a normal gym. Because you and I both know that there's a difference between like a Mike Brown, a King Mo, people that have held titles in major organizations that have a background this many years collegiately with this many years of amateur competition, and other guys that like never been in a big show or held a belt, but they've got experience. What's making it where you've got guys now that don't have any of that background? They're just coming in as a martial arts person.
I haven't seen many of those because most of the people that have success as as coaches in MMA, I feel like have competed at some level. Um, as far as hobbyists, maybe that come and coach, they might be there for the short term.
Debut signee person, last minute signing,
Yeah,
then we're,
debut
we're moving
signee,
on. Yeah.
and then after that guy or lady gets to 5-0, they realize they have somebody that doesn't know what they're talking about.
Mm.
And by then they've been trained at they've like went and cross trained at a few of the gyms, and
They've
then
met coaches at shows and seen the way they corner, things like that.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a big deal. Yeah. How was that process for you? Like you went from you went from college wrestling, wrestling at the world level, and then like now you're fighting in Dream
Now I fight in
or in
Sengoku.
Sengoku. Yeah,
Yeah, with
Sengoku
the yeah, Ryan Parsons is my he's my coach then.
against Travis View,
Yeah, yeah.
who
It
had
was
like
kind of crazy.
150 fights.
It was crazy because like he had like 54 fights, and I just wanted to go fight and get paid. So Ryan Parsons told me he gets an email from somebody from Japan. I forgot the name of the person, and he said that Roger Gracie fell out and they needed a replacement.
Done.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pay me.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy though, because now I think about it, because like me and Joe Warren got moved really fast,
Yeah.
but I think that helped me as a coach now because even when I was fighting, I got hurt, I got injured a lot, and I was injured a lot, but I still tried to just keep learning. And I feel like all the stuff I've learned that I couldn't do, I can teach. Like I couldn't kick because my hips,
Right.
my knees, but I know how to show 'em, and I've had a chance to train with guys, not train with, but train and work with guys like Muslim Salikov. You know, he's a great kicker, and he's fighting soon. And then like my boy Murad, he's a little dude from Dagestan. Can't pronounce his last name, but he's cool as hell, man. He's my boy. He comes by the house and he shows me a lot of Santa stuff. I learned a lot from him. So I'm lucky to be around a lot of um, a wide, diverse group of people.
do you think do you think that's something maybe a lot of coaches need more of? Because I know we see a lot of coaches that this is the way I do stuff because this is the way I've done stuff and it's staying that way. I mean, your entire career, you were just you enjoy being in the gym and learning.
Mhm.
So I don't see that with a lot of coaches. I see a lot of coaches going, "This is my system. It's proven. It's effective, and we'll make adjustments." And then because the person's a good athlete,
But that person ends up getting lost in the shuffle after a while because um, the fight games change. It changes. It changes so much. Every 2 months, there's like a new trend or a new thought that's probably executed that we just don't see.
but offense or defense or
Both.
whatever.
I have some things I've worked on that I've been like theorizing stuff like that that I'm about to unleash. One's called the rat trap. Yeah, I'm working on that. Well, actually, it's done. I've been work. I thought about that move like 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, and I think that I'm just gonna put it on Instagram and YouTube.
You think that's I mean that's essentially what happens is someone that's got a lot of experience tries something, it works, and next thing you know, you're seeing it on a contender show, you're seeing it at a regional show, then you see it in the UFC. Like that's pretty it's pretty cool the way the sport continues to seem to evolve. The fundamentals are there, but now everybody is so well versed in everything. I think it just makes people more eager to try new stuff.
Yeah,
It's not boring,
I just want to see if it works because I know I've seen it work and I've showed it, but then like
to
I'm
have one of your guys pull it
yeah,
off and do it. Yeah.
but I remember Marcelo Garcia would put his stuff on YouTube and
Yeah.
stuff like that, and like technique is technique. I want to see if people can if there's a way to get through that. I'm pretty sure there is. I just haven't thought of it. I have a few thoughts, but I'm pretty sure someone else with a different point of view that's used to being in this position
Yeah. Has an
will
answer.
have an answer for it. So, but we'll see. We'll see.
How how was that process whenever you were going and growing through fighting and gaining new information, learning new stuff, but being injured? Like how did you look for coaches? Because you've trained with a lot of people, like you already said, and you've hung around at gyms for good periods of time, like Team Quest, aka American Top Team.
Mm.
Like how do you kind of what's your compass on that?
I don't know. I was just cool with everybody.
Was it more to like, hey, I'm cool with you. Let me come train, like to train with the fighters, or to go learn under the coach, or was it both?
No, I was just cool with everybody, man. Like I know there's people that don't like me, but I don't like them. That's cool. But I'm just cool with everybody. I don't be trying to beef with nobody. I don't backstab nobody, you know. I'm not the type to like act like, you have their best interest, but really not. I've dealt with people like that, like dude like Mike Hogan,
Mm,
you know what I'm saying? Like in my opinion, I can't respect somebody like that. I just, the thing is, I don't like talking about him because like, I just don't. But just the way he kind of played me, and then he tried to play me again still.
yeah.
Now that's all good though, because like when it comes down to it, I know who I am. So
Do you think that's something that's missing in shoot, just in life in general, but especially in combat sports? There's more shady business deals. Do you think it's just the way the fight game is?
I don't think Mike is shady as a person. I'm just talking about on a personal level.
Right.
Like like just the fact that like how he played me. You know what I'm saying? I find it reprehensible. You know, I just and yeah, I had some words to him. You know what I'm saying? I said some stuff to him. You know what I'm saying? But I just, mm, I think everybody's kind of cool in MMA or combat sports.
Yeah.
It's just it comes down to the relationship you have with that person and the relationship you think you have with that person.
You being like, how do you check that to see if it's real before it bites you in the ass?
You never know if it's real. That's why sometimes it's cool. Be cool. Just be cool with everybody. Like you're cool. I'm cool. I'm friendly. I'm cool with everybody. But the people that know I'm really close to them know that I'm close to them. But in MMA, there's so much learning that
Hmm.
what's the point of making enemies? Because like everybody's trying to improve. We're all in the same. We're on the same path trying to get somewhere. And there are times somebody that's trained beside you might end up being your opponent.
Hmm.
So, but the same, but the end game is all the same. Try to get as far as you can get, make that money, become a champion or something.
Yeah, it seems like it's yeah, it seems, I don't know, it feels like sometimes whenever you're doing, especially in a sport where you're getting beat up, you're sacrificing a lot of time, you're sacrificing your health, you're to have people that you're doing business with that know how personal things are with you, that know how much this hurts your body, takes away from family time, everything else, to have them do that stuff. I feel like anytime that there's like some kind of relationship deal in MMA, it almost feels worse than if it was just a regular friend. It's, I don't know, maybe it's because the amount of time I have in it.
Well, well, yeah, I feel what you're
You
saying.
know what I mean?
Yeah,
Hey man, you know what I do every day.
but at the same
You know,
time, the thing is, like a lot of those people that know what you do every day end up being your close friends.
right,
And y'all end up being like close. Like the American Top Team, even though like everybody's cool there, it's like a big family. But within that family, you might have to fight a brother or a
right,
sister.
right,
Because you know, and the crazy thing is the sparring partners there have trained with everybody. It's like I don't know that they have a good set of sparring partners.
right.
Everybody's there to help everybody. But could you imagine if, me and you and like we train with the same five people and then all of a
Hmm.
sudden we got to fight? So if it's like five or six of us, that means somebody's gonna be boss hogging
Yeah,
the sparring partners.
yeah, this is true. So you combat that by, you have fight camp, you go somewhere else, or you get more sparring partners and
Nah,
just do it.
just do it. Right now, Chris Duncan is fighting Mateus Rebecca at the gym.
Hmm.
You know, Biggie Boys fought when he was there. Um, in the UFC, he fought Dos Santos,
Yeah,
he fought Sakai, and he fought Arlovsky. So, you know,
it is what it is.
it
Just
is what it is.
business.
Yeah, it's business, but at the same time, like, it's no bad blood.
Yeah. The high profile version that's like Kayla and Amanda Nunes. Does do you, Kayla's really embedded herself. Amanda Nunes is like, legend of the gym. How does training go for that? Exact same way. Everything is business as usual.
Well, Amanda has her own gym now.
Oh, so she's
Yes.
privatized her training.
I mean, Amanda left a few years ago.
Okay, so
She
this
left,
is
yeah.
not even
No.
okay. So after the retirement and everything done, got her own thing.
Well, nah, she left after the first Juliana Pena fight.
Gotcha.
I don't know what happened, but she wanted to do her own thing. But I think she always wanted to do her own thing though.
So there's not that doesn't even come across as a gym thing anymore to you guys either.
Nah, I don't think
Because I mean, you talk about like you have a relationship with somebody that you worked with for a while, and now they're fighting someone that you're currently working with. How do you as a coach navigate that fairly? Just this is what I know.
yeah, wish them both the best. Because I don't coach either one. You know what I'm saying? I've worked with Amanda in the past.
Well, I'm talking about like anybody.
Oh, anybody? Just well,
Like how do you navigate that?
you just never. Well, it depends on who picks you as a coach.
Right,
Because if like one asks you first, and it depends on your relationship with them
right.
too. So some people are more comfortable asking others.
So you don't offer well how do you actually then carry through with coaching?
Well, check this out. So, for instance, for Becky, okay, it's fighting Chris Duncan. Now, when Chris Duncan first came to the gym, he was cool as hell. I liked him. He knocked out this one dude I was sparring with, like not sparring with, but he knocked out this one dude that I was like kind of coaching, and it was nasty. I mean, nasty,
Okay,
but it was accidental.
okay,
And I watched Chris spar, and he's tough and he's hard nosed. He's from Scotland, and he's cool, man. He's really cool, good dude. But he's fighting Mateusz Rebecki, and Rebecki's cool as hell too. He's from Poland. So I remember like I think it was a year ago, 2 years ago or something. I was watching Rebecki spar, and he was like gassing out, breathing all heavy. And I was watching him spar, and he was like throwing all wild and throwing all heavy. And I said, Rebecki, slow down, just use more speed, man. Cut back on that power and use more speed. It'll save you energy. You'll be more efficient, and you won't be gassed out.
right.
So he was listening to me and he was playing with it. And I think he found his rhythm because his last few fights, aside from the one he lost, he was using the speed and touching them boys out. And he's hard nosed, he can grapple. But I'm cornering him. I'm in his corner
Okay.
with Steve Bruno. And Steve Bruno's my dog. That's my boy.
Yeah.
And so is Arnold. I'm cool with like pretty much the whole coaching staff. They're cool, man. Like they're cool. Artem was cool. Artem's really cool. He's funny as hell. Ivan's cool as hell. Anderson's cool. Catel's cool. Michael Howe's cool. Conan's cool. Uh, Pahumpa's cool. Mike Brown's cool. Mako's cool. I'm, there's so many damn coaches. I'm trying to think. Am I missing
Tiago.
anybody else? Yeah, Tiago Alves is really cool.
Yeah.
So Richie's cool as hell.
So
Dan's cool.
so how do gyms keep that? How do you keep the vibe? Because
Oh,
we're talking about the vibe at my
and
place,
can't
like, you know
forget
what I mean?
Puma and I think Diane. They're all cool. Everybody that works at the ATT is cool as hell. So I'm
Yeah.
just gonna say it like that.
How do you maintain the vibe?
We just come in cool because we're just at the gym training fighters, and we're seeing sparring, and we're seeing the growth of the athletes that we've been working with. So like there's a kid named Christian Turner. He's a young kid. He's from Atlanta. He works with Mike Brown, and Mike Brown's been putting in work with him, and he's sharp. He's tough, very talented. Uh, we got this kid named uh, Prasha P. He's from New Zealand. He's new. Shamel Finley, aka Buckwheat. Nah, I'm just joking. Nah, Shamel's cold. I'm gonna be cornering him next weekend at the
Nice.
CFFC in Tampa, and we've been working together just recently. So I'm kind of excited for him because I can see that when I work with a lot of these guys, like I'm not saying it's me, but I think that um they just kind of open their mind up because I don't
Gotcha.
try to mold them into being like me because I can even kick. But you got guys like Jason Eastman, the dog faced gremlin. Yeah, Jason Eastman, he fought Bilal Hassan in the CFFC. Um, that was a tough one, you know, because we were ready. He was granted, he didn't have the best training camp because he was busy with family stuff. And man, he came out and fought his ass off. Um, could have gotten with the heel hook, inverted heel hook, right? But Hassan just let his knee pop. His pop. He had to leave in a wheelchair.
Oh my God.
And Jason had to leave in one too. Because it was a war. Jason got stopped, but man, like, man, it was a war because he took a lot of shit in that fight.
What do you think about the level of athlete now that's getting drawn into MMA? Compare, I mean, because when you were fighting when MySpace was a thing for fighters, you know.
Yeah, I
So
remember that.
this is not just college wrestlers go, hey, this is the next step. This is now people that have grown up doing this their whole life, guys that have played professional basketball. It's still not a lot of pro football players that get into it and do it at a high level, but there's guys that play in college that cross over, especially at some of the skill positions.
Mhm.
Like, do you think now that's maybe the influence of why there's so many more creative moves, unorthodox things happening because you got guys that are athletic enough to pull stuff off?
Mm, it depends. It depends on what it is. Because if it's
Yeah.
like wrestling or grappling, no. That comes down to experience and understanding how to master your body. And you can master your body on the football field and on the basketball court, but until you can master your body in front of somebody trying to fuck you up,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, you
That's different. It's different.
yeah, it's different. So
No, for sure it's different. No, that's funny. Man, what do you think on the low level, the local one? What do you think about the your time here at the gym this last week?
you know what? I'm impressed. You know, uh, he has some solid members. The young kids, we're getting all the moves I was teaching, the wrestling and the grappling. Because look, just because I don't get submissions, don't mean I can't teach them. I've
Right,
watched
right.
everybody. I've gotten tapped by everybody. I've escaped all sorts of submissions. It's just that I'm so limited in my range of motion
Right.
for my knees and my elbows. I couldn't even do a rear naked choke because my elbows would never bend to let my hand slide behind the neck. So I could never do that. That's why with grappling, like I couldn't when I was on top of people, it hurt to pass the guard because my hip wouldn't bend and my knee wouldn't bend. So like I had to stay in their guard and punch.
Yeah,
And then it just I couldn't really elbow because I'm most in Japan you couldn't elbow.
right.
And then I couldn't really punch. I couldn't really do a knee on belly because my knee wouldn't bend.
You could
You know
take
what I'm
the
saying?
pressure in,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I couldn't do too much, but I just tried my best to my bad. I just tried my best to do what I could do.
Yeah. That's crazy doing all that with that many injuries. I say that and then I'm crippled too going every day.
Well, with me, it's more like bone spurs. Like
Yeah.
I have osteoarthritis, I think, because I do have it. I've had so many scopes in my elbows and my hips and my knees that they just keep on coming back.
What would be when it comes to injuries, what would be the number one piece of advice you'd give to people getting into combat sports?
That's a good
Or
one.
like one of the things that you found like this was really important. I didn't put enough time into it.
Rest more.
Rest more,
Yeah, after a
recovery.
fight, take like 3 weeks off to a month off because I'm not gonna lie. Like I did get hit a lot because I sparred a lot. and now I can feel the effects in my speech at times. My memory's fucked up sometimes, but I'm still there. It's just that I used to be sharper. But mm, you know, uh,
Learn defense and take
yeah.
rest days.
Look, because the thing is, even if you're doing puffy gloves,
No, you're still it's still
you're
impact.
still
It's
getting
still
hit in the head.
impact.
So I mean, and there are people in the gym. Like I like being in the gym. I was in the gym a lot, you know what I'm saying? But as I got older, it's kind of painful for me to grapple or
Yeah.
wrestle because my hip, my knee, and my elbows. So I just hit mitts and spar. And then like if I got takedowns, I'll just stay in your guard, try to punch until I can get up to our feet, get up to my feet. And I'll try to go to your body to slow you down. And then once you're slowed down, I could just chill.
No, that I mean, working with what limitations you got, it's physical attributes. You can either you be blessed with size and strength and flexibility, or you can work around with what you got.
Yeah. Like my hip was done probably by the time I was, I think, 32,
How
33.
many fights in would that be? Or how many more fights you have when you're saying on my hip was done here? 6 or 7?
Um,
More.
when did Rashad? It was around the time Rashad fought Rampage because I was in Denver, Colorado, and I was doing a drill, and I felt a pop in my hip, and ever since then, I never had full range of motion in my hip. Then, like years later, I went to this doctor, and I didn't. I mean, I didn't know like much about doctors. Like my mom was a nurse, but I was in California, and everybody was referring me to this one ortho, and he's like, "I'm gonna go into your hip, I'm gonna clean up the labrum, and it should take about maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours."
Mhm.
I woke up 5 hours later, and they said they removed my labrum. Yeah,
There's like this, we can't clean this up. We gotta take this
he just
out.
I don't know
He
why.
just did it.
I think he might have been. I think the doctor wasn't that good of a doctor. So after that, it was a
Then you're bone on
I was
bone.
bone on bone right then.
Wow.
I had no idea, and I kept on trying to stretch it and do whatever I could. And I might have made it worse by doing it
Yeah.
without knowing. So
Yeah.
yeah, I was in pain for a lot of fights.
Yeah, I know. I know you were.
I remember I got a I got the damn cortisone shot, and it didn't last a day.
Yep.
And I remember going to Orlando for WrestleMania weekend many years ago when Goldberg was there. You know what I'm saying? He think he wrestled Brock Lesnar, and I was struggling to walk. Oh man, I was in pain. Yeah, that was very traumatic because even though I have a hip replacement, like a Birmingham hip resurfacing,
Mhm.
it's metal on metal,
So, yeah,
and I still have false pains.
like
Like
phantom pain in there,
like I feel like sometimes when I'm waking up, I can feel the old arthritis in my hip.
but that's not there.
It's not there. But I feel it when I'm in a place that's kind of cold.
Yeah.
Like if it's like 70 degrees,
Lower, lower,
68,
lower, lower.
my hip gets stiff.
That's insane,
Yeah,
man.
it gets stiff.
So learn defense, don't get injured. What's the last thing? If you were going to talk to somebody about the importance of wrestling for self defense, combat, you helped me out with
Yeah.
the we did
But
the
hold me go real quick.
combat training,
I wouldn't say work defense because even if you get hit, you block, you're still losing something. I just say spar a little less.
spar less.
Spar a little less and run the rest because you want to be efficient with your body because your body only has so many miles on it.
Right.
Every
And you
kick,
don't know
every
what number that
punch,
is.
yeah, you have no idea until it just happens. And I think that my thing is I was so obsessed with trying to get to college when I was young for wrestling when I started. I overdid it. Then when I got to college, I was so obsessed with trying to be an Olympic champion and be somewhere that I overdid it. I I I I would never say no to competition. I didn't care about the weight class or whatever. I didn't care about who I wrestled with in practice, how big they were. And looking back, like I should have been smarter because I broke my arm wrestling with Daniel Cormier. He did a gut wrench and my arm snapped. and then I had to have like this is like when I was college, and I had to have like bone chips removed from my elbow, and ever since then I could never bend my arm, and then it got infected with staph infection.
Yeah.
So it's like every major area I've had, aside from my hip right here, it's had staph,
Your
like 3 times.
knees,
It's staph.
obviously.
Yeah. So
So what would you say if you're talking to people about the importance of wrestling, especially because you helped me out with the getting me with the live trained online training courses, helped out with our little combatives program that we did, our level one. Um, Number one, were you how surprised were you that it was largely wrestling that we're teaching for combatives, and then how do you feel like that transfers over to everybody else?
yeah, that stuff didn't feel too good, but I think that it's very helpful. It saves lives, and I feel like once you know how to control the body, you're more confident.
Yeah,
Now, if they have a weapon, it's a different story.
for sure.
But if it's one on one and you understand how the body works and where the weak points in the body lie, then you have no worries because you can defend yourself and you can target those areas.
Easy.
So
Go wrestle, right?
yeah, wrestle, I feel like, wrestle, at least experience it. Experience it. I feel like everybody should because it's the one of the first forms of combat. That in boxing, because like
Yep.
you punch, kick, like I don't know which one came first. Like, headbutt, bite. The thing about things, you got headbutt, bite, elbow, eye poke, kick,
Knee,
knee,
wrestling,
and
joint
yeah,
manipulation,
yeah, bite, yeah,
headbutt.
gouge.
Yep.
So I already said gouge. So, gouge, headbutt,
Bite,
bite, elbow,
elbows, punches,
punches,
knees,
kicks,
kicks.
and chin. Yeah,
The Mark Kerr,
yeah,
Dan Bovish.
yeah. So I mean, like, there's so many ways to harm someone.
Yeah.
You have about nine. Yeah, actually, you have nine. Actually, headbutt. So think about this. You have your eight, the art of eight,
Right.
9,
Plus
10,
10.
11.
And then in addition, yeah, yep. So
Yeah.
you got 11 things you can mess
Yeah.
somebody up
So
with.
so but the thing is, like MMA, 3 of them are banned.
Right.
Yeah. So
Heck yeah. We're gonna get out of here. We're gonna leave.